our own restrictions we place on ourselves in terms of what's possible and what we think's possible. Deficient in terms of we rely on radio communication, but we have no real insight into the exact status. We have no real insight into the location of our various assets. A fairly poor insight in terms of end of shift status and start of shift status. The ability to find things is often difficult. So in our case, that was the first part of the business case, was the improved safety of having that situational awareness. It does give you the opportunity to prevent collisions by understanding where everybody else is. A truck driver, for example, now knows what traffic is on the decline as he enters the mine. They're automatically more productive if they can see that there's a clear path from where they are to where they need to go. You should never have to back your truck up because everybody can see where you are, and you can see where everybody is. So ultimately, you need somebody that you can work with that's flexible enough to deliver the end result. Cost imperatives can sometimes interfere with that. So you've almost got to put it to the back of your mind, and once you've committed, you just drive on and you just do it. You get caught up in trying to prove the business case. You know inherently that it's going to provide benefits. So we haven't had any vehicle interactions since the tracking's been up and running. In the past week, we achieved a record fleet utilisation across our trucking fleet and our loading fleet. That's the best we've ever done. From March to April, we had to increase our production from 73,000 tonnes to 91,000 tonnes. We actually achieved 100,000 tonnes, so effectively increased about 35% from one month to the next. And this month to date, as of yesterday, we were 46% ahead on target for the month.
Fantastic.
The trends are showing that we are getting those productivity benefits. And then you can start to say, okay, well, I had a delay for no power that was 25 hours in the month. I had a delay for pumping water, 30 hours in a month. I had all these things. So then you can start to just tackle your delays based on real data. And we collect a lot of data that's useless. We tend to collect a lot more than we need. So the other trick is actually collecting what's useful.
The valuable data.
And then applying that data to drive improvement. The supervisor now is spending less time managing and assigning tasks and more time on quality supervision. That reduced time demand on the shift boss will ultimately result in improved supervision. If the report's being produced instantaneously at the end of the shift, then the supervisor can actually stay down underground for a lot longer as well. And likewise, the operators are seeing benefits already about not having to do the paperwork. And so our blue collar workers were the first to jump on board. They've almost, in a sense, dragged the supervision and the management along with them. So they've had to buy in to support what the workforce sees as fundamentally a good idea. Get to the point where you got the crusty old shift boss who's been in the game for 35 years, now missing his mine tech when he doesn't have it. Is everybody on the same page as me? Not necessarily. Once it generates its own enthusiasm and its own support, people will just start to think of ideas we've never even thought of yet. So the only way that we can pay for it is by producing more tonnes or more metres. And so the business case is built around that productivity. I'm confident enough that the investment decision was the right investment decision that will put it in another mine over the course of 3 months. I fundamentally believe that the inefficiency factor within a mine is probably, in an underground mine, is probably at least 35%. So if we could pick up 50% of the 35%, that makes us 17.5% more productive than our peers. Then I should be able to bid at a lower rate because I've got a lower unit cost because I'm 17.5% more productive and retain my margin and win everything we bid. We believe if we can tap into some of that inefficiency, even at 40% or 30%, it's still a massive number. If we can increase our productivity by 10%, then we're streets ahead of our competitors.
Yeah.
But the fact that's unquestionable, that's irrefutable, is the fact that we have lifted the production out of the mine
Yeah.
by a factor of about 45 to 50%.
Right.
Over the course